What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Lumberjack's Breakfast. Today we'll be making homemade flap cakes, like I like to call them. Just a few simple ingredients. Let's get started. So in lieu of my 46th birthday, just last week, I've decided to make a little resolution, make a change in my life, and start eating a little bit healthier. After 3 decades of being a lazy POS and living off of hand-rolled cigarettes and coffee. I got a little bit of cold coffee right here. I'm going to try eating a little bit better in preparation to my future arm wrestling career. So, let's start with the flap cakes. A few ingredients consist of, we got some flour, we got a little bit of melted butter here. I don't know if you can see that in there. I'm going to make my own little buttermilk. I've probably already messed up this recipe because I don't have baking powder. That seems to be, one of the good leavening agents to make them nice and light and fluffy. But you can substitute that with a little bit of baking soda. I've got some old ass baking soda around here somewhere. Up in the cupboard here, maybe. I don't know where it's at. There it is. Here we go. We'll get that out of there. There's some baking soda. It's probably like 2-3 years old. Hopefully it does the job. I just recently tried to make some Irish soda bread, and yeah, that was dense. That was really dense. So it didn't work out too well. But we'll try. So we get some baking soda, some melted butter, a little bit of pinch of salt. We'll use some sugar. Got some sugar over here. Yeah, let's start this off. So I suppose first, because it doesn't take too long, we'll start with getting some buttermilk together here. And let's move that out of the way. We'll start with a cup of milk. And I'm not going to fill that up all the way because I am going to add a little bit of this apple cider vinegar. Now you can use regular white distilled vinegar. I like the apple cider because it gives it a little woodsiness, I don't know. I wouldn't say it necessarily tastes like apples, but maybe a little nutty. You want about 2 teaspoons of that, or 2 tablespoons of that. Oh, that's probably more than that. And we'll stir that up, and then we'll just let that kind of sit there, maybe about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That might actually, I probably should have started that beforehand, but that's okay. I'm not the best cook. Ooh, that stinks. This is some old vinegar right here. This has probably been up in the cupboard for a good couple of years. I love to bake, but I haven't been doing that. So anyways, reason why I picked this theme, the Lumberjack Breakfast, is one, like I said, I love to bake, but I like old-timey recipes. And I love the way, the old men, real men, ate. They didn't have preservatives, they didn't have instant food, and they were real men. They put in real work. The gladiators, Roman gladiators, the Carthaginians and the Turks and whatever, man. As far back as you can go. I love all them recipes. I like to watch Tasting History with Max Miller. He does a lot of that stuff. This new Dylan Hollis guy, he's big on that. But yeah, breakfast to break fast. After you slept, you ate all night. It was a quick meal with what you had readily available. Now the lumberjacks, you know, they worked all day long, and they didn't just carry, you know, they're floating around on logs, and they didn't have food necessarily readily available. But what they did have was they had this raft that floated around behind them that had like a stove on it, and there was a guy that was his cook on there, and that was his specific job, was to cook for them dudes, hook them up. Like I said, not only is it because that I pick this because I like the way those guys ate, but I thought it was fitting, coming from Saginaw, Michigan, that what better way to, I guess, highlight my heritage with a little history of Saginaw and its deep roots in the lumber production. Saginaw, Michigan was started back in early 19th century, sometime around like 1816. We had some Frenchies over here. Let's get this cup of flour in here while we talk. And then we had some Frenchies over here, and then like 1890 something or whatever, they finally got a trading post, but they ended up closing it down because Saginaw was just a swamp of mosquitoes and high humidity. But then by the time like 1869 rolled around, they had started this. They had like two different areas of Saginaw. It consolidated in, what was it, 1896, I guess. But between 1869 and 1870, Saginaw was the largest employer in the country, with producing $7 million a year. $7 million a year. And they had like over 80 sawmills. Alright, I'm falling behind here. Where's my fork at? Wipe this buttery fork. I need this fork to be dry. We're going to add this baking soda. I want that fork dry so I can stir that up. We want to start with our dry ingredients while we're waiting on this buttermilk to turn into buttermilk. So we get about a tablespoon of this stuff. A tablespoon of this old ass. I got it. I'll get it out of here. I'm trying to use two hands to hold that thing up. There we go. That might be more than I needed, but it's old, so we'll use it anyway. And then we're going to stir it up with this fork, and then I can talk some more. So let's stir that up real good. We'll mix that in there, let that incorporate into it. And like I was saying, you know, I mean, we were producing lumber. Saginaw, Bay City, the Saginaw Valley. And these lumberjacks, like I was saying, you know, they're working from like before it was even light out. They're already out working. And they didn't always have time to stop and eat breakfast. So this like barge, it was like a log cabin, floating log cabin that had a cook stove in it and a chef in there, and he was making stuff, flapjacks, bacon, sausage, eggs, taters, toast, corned beef, pork chops. I mean, you should see the quantities of food that these guys were eating, and they didn't necessarily have a lot of time. And they would like go in shifts, and they would get on there, and they would eat. And yeah, that's the way it was. And these guys are floating around on logs and whatnot. So if I'm gonna be a man, I need to eat like these men. I gotta eat like these men. But let's not get too far behind here. So I got my mix all incorporated there. And we're gonna add our buttermilk. Let's get a pinch of salt in there. We want like half a teaspoon of salt. Oh, salt's coming out. That might be a little too much salt, but that's okay. I've also got some oatmeal. I made up a little oatmeal ahead of time. Oh wow, so we just had a camera failure. Now I gotta do this one-handed. My buttermilk is probably cottage cheese now. But we're gonna try it anyway. Let's get this fork in there. Stir that up. We better get that into the pot as quick as we can. I'm gonna try to speed this video up here. Always be prepared, you guys. Scout's motto. Them lumberjacks were prepared. I am not prepared. So I got that in there. You know, if you wanted to, you could probably put a little bit of vanilla in there. You know, that's funny because imitation vanilla was made from beaver ass. And, we'll put that butter in there, melted butter. Now, I like to wait a little bit on the melted butter because you don't want to put it in there too hot. You start making glutens. We'll stir that up a little bit. Did I get some sugar? Let's get some sugar in there. Alright, a little bit of sugar. Try not to melt my cord on top of this. Now, this is quite amazing. This is how I roll. There we go, get that in there. Not too, I probably should have put it in before with the dry ingredients, but I got a little distracted. Get that in there. We don't want to put that in there. We don't want to make gluten. I don't know why. Gluten makes your veneer shoot off. So people don't use that no more. And it's looking like it's probably a little bit thin. So why don't we add a little bit of milk to that? Probably because I waited too long and made cottage cheese, or a little bit too thick. Add some milk in there, cool it down, thin it out. GoPro, don't mess with me. Is GoPro still recording? I think it is. I don't know. We'll find out when I look at it. Oh, it's so thick. Oh, we need more milk. Let's get some more milk in there. Come on. Thin out. Oh, this is a terrible video. Why? I hope my arm wrestling career doesn't go like this. Funny story, I did a little bit of amateur MMA, and both times, like I said, I was never took care of myself. I was a drunk. I went to this bar. They had these flyers on the tables. They were doing this tough man contest. That's a thing here in Michigan. Have you ever heard of the butterbean? A little bit thinner. That's where the butterbean came from. Good old art door and tough man contest. A little bit more milk in there. So I go to this bar on a Friday, and I gotta work Saturday morning, something like that. It's something stupid like that. It could have even been a Thursday. It's irrelevant. I had to work the next morning, and that next day, they were having a tough man contest. I was going to be there at the machine shop in Michigan. And I had always kind of wanted to try my hand at doing something like that. And, so, that might have been I might have overmixed that. Who knows? I'm going to have to get that on there real quick. So I go to work. I'm nursing a hangover. Then right after work, I had to speed on out to Flint, which is about 45 minutes away, to get to the swing. And oh man, I'm gonna burn my cord here. Yeah. I lost the match on a decision. But I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. And then I ended up hooking up with a trainer out of Owasso, and I spent a month with him training. And then I did another one, and I ended up winning. So, like, but yeah, let's get these flat cakes on here without burning my cord. Yeah, hopefully that butter that I put in there helps, that they don't stick to the plate there. I love this skillet. It's an awesome thing. It smells really good, like they're gonna turn out good. And they say do a little test cake, but everything turned out wrong. So just now. So we're just gonna lay them all down. Hopefully they don't stick. And I could probably use a better spatula for this, but I got this plastic Rubbermaid spatula I've been using. Anyway, yeah, my second match I ended up, both matches I went the distance. I'll tell you what, between the boxing and the MMA, boxing is way more strenuous than MMA. There ain't no time to rest on somebody laying on the floor. Hold on, let me put this thing down here, maybe. Here, stare at my coffee cup. There ain't no time to lay there resting on the floor, getting your breath, keeping the guy close to you. I guess you can kind of tie up, but when you're in the tough man, they tell you, get on in there and just start swinging. Swing for the fences. And they tell you that, and they tell the other guy across from you that. Swing for the fences, and just go, go, go. There's 3 1-minute rounds. That's it. So I'm already probably a little bit worried about these pancakes. I have a feeling they're gonna end up burnt. And then I will probably have to edit the video with some instant ones. I like to use the Krusty's cakes. Can you see that? Oh, you can see that. I gotta look at the front of it. I like to use the Krusty's cakes. They're really good. They don't really stick too bad, and especially if you add the butter to it, it helps a lot. Let's look and see. They smell amazing. We're gonna let them bubble up just a little bit more. I like a crusty pancake. I like them to have a little bit of snap to them when you go through there, and I like them to be all the way done inside. And I don't necessarily like a thin pancake. I can tell already, I think these are going to be thinner than if I use that Krusty's brand. Yeah. Using one hand to do this is really going to prove. Oh, yeah. Maybe we might look out. Oh, man, look at them cakes. They smell delicious. They smell delicious. If I was a lumberjack, and I come rolling up on that boat to some of these, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose this thing. I'd be in heaven. Hope that one came out good. There you go. All right. Unfortunately, because I'm a poor, my little griddle here is a little broken, and it gets tipsy, topsy-turvy on me. But yeah, there they are. Flat cakes. Nice and golden brown. A little bit of fluff to them. They smell delicious. Everything you want and need for a long day on the Saginaw River. Pushing, standing on wood. And God forbid you fell in. Them guys had it rough. Working from dark till dark. And then they get into their little tent And, you know, they take their socks off and hang them up. There'd be socks everywhere, smelling like Padissi up in there. Or smelling like butt and feet. Just, drying their socks all hanging up everywhere around the oven, wood burner, whatever you want to call it. Let's get a drink of that coffee. I love coffee. I got my old fancy percolator here. I didn't brew anything. This is leftover coffee from the night before. I'm used to that. Like I said, I'm a rock star, man. I get like 2-3 hours sleep a night. Living on cigarettes. I'm quitting cigarettes. We're gonna quit that. I think starting today. I just about ran out of tobacco. Better get our plate ready. Stack these cakes up. Let's go. There we go. Oh, them are nice and golden. And that probably is from the apple cider vinegar. I got too many cakes here, I think. 3, 4. No way I'm gonna be able to eat all this. Hopefully my kid helps. He's sleeping. We'll wake him up. Wave one of these under his face. Or slap it across his cheek. See how he likes it. Slap cakes. Flap cakes. Flap cakes. I'm gonna get these forearms back in business, baby. A little bit later today, I'm gonna make a short. We're gonna try that wrist curl again, but we're gonna do it about 120 pounds this time and match my body weight. So yeah, I'll post a little picture of me smiling and enjoying these, but I can't talk to you guys all day and feed my face. So peace out. GoPro, stop capture. Alright, let's try these out, man. Let's see what we get here. I hope they're good. I'll be honest if they're not. I'll tell you guys. Delicious. Could they be a little bit fluffier? Yes. Do I care? No. Try my recipe. Or don't. I don't care. Love you guys. God bless. GoPro, stop capture. GoPro, stop capture.